Throughout history, countless significant events have been obscured from public knowledge due to reasons ranging from embarrassment and espionage to diplomatic maneuvering. These hidden truths often reveal a more complex narrative about our past and the world we inhabit. As time progresses, many of these concealed stories are uncovered, prompting us to reconsider the narratives we've been taught. Number 5. The Nanda Devi Incident. In 1965, a team of mountaineers embarked on an ambitious expedition to summit Nanda Devi, the tallest mountain located entirely within India. Known for its stunning yet treacherous terrain, Nanda Devi was an ideal spot for covert operations, thanks to its height and proximity to China, which was rapidly developing its nuclear capabilities. Unfortunately, the expedition was thwarted by severe weather conditions, including heavy snowfall and dangerously low oxygen levels. Faced with these challenges, the team made the difficult decision to turn back. Before leaving the mountain, the team decided to stash an essential device they had brought with them, a nuclear-powered sensor designed to monitor Chinese activities. This device was part of a secret collaboration between the CIA and Indian intelligence, spurred by fears surrounding China's burgeoning nuclear arsenal. The sensor was powered by plutonium, and the team believed they would be able to retrieve it on their next expedition. However, when the team returned the following year, they found no trace of the device. Despite numerous missions sent to search for the lost plutonium, including helicopters equipped with neutron detectors, the search turned up empty. Some speculated that an avalanche might have carried the plutonium away, while others theorized that Indian authorities had covertly recovered the device to prevent the Americans from accessing it. Today, many believe the plutonium remains buried somewhere on the mountain, raising concerns about its environmental impact. Nanda Devi feeds the Ganges River, one of the most sacred rivers in South Asia, and there have been unconfirmed reports suggesting traces of plutonium might have entered the water supply. Local residents even attributed recent devastating floods to the heat generated by the lost plutonium, although such claims have been largely dismissed by experts. The Nanda Devi incident remained under wraps until a 1978 expose by a journalist for Outside magazine finally brought it into the public eye. As we continue to uncover the hidden stories of the Cold War, one can't help but wonder how many similar incidents remain buried in history. Number 4. The Battle of Dak 2. The Vietnam War, often referred to as the Television War, brought the realities of conflict into American living rooms, with many atrocities broadcasted to viewers across the country. However, many battles and incidents were never reported, either to protect public morale or to avoid scrutiny. Among these was the tragic event on Hill 875 during the Battle of Dak 2 on November 19, 1967. As an American brigade found itself pinned down by enemy fire from nearby tunnels, the chaos of battle raged around them. Napalm fires ravaged the landscape, and the soldiers took refuge beneath a lone tree, establishing a makeshift command post where officers, radio operators, medics, and wounded soldiers gathered. In the heat of battle, friendly aircraft were dispatched to provide air support, but due to the close quarters of combat, the risk of friendly fire was ever present. Tragically, in the midst of this chaos, a U.S. plane misidentified the command post as an enemy position and unleashed a devastating airstrike. The attack resulted in the loss of 20 American lives, with the remains of 3 soldiers never recovered. For decades, the incident was misattributed to a South Vietnamese soldier mistakenly firing on his allies. However, an official investigation later revealed that the tragedy was caused by a U.S. pilot's error. This information was buried for years, and when researchers later scoured through the National Archives for a report on the Battle of Dak 2, they found nothing. Only years later did the truth emerge, underscoring the importance of recognizing the complexities and the hidden realities of warfare. Number 3. The attack on the USS Liberty. The events of June 8, 1967, remain shrouded in secrecy and controversy, even decades later. This incident occurred during the Six-Day War, a conflict marked by intense fighting between Israel and neighboring Arab states. Although the United States chose to remain neutral, the USS Liberty, an American intelligence ship, was positioned in the eastern Mediterranean, gathering crucial information. On that fateful day, the Liberty was subject to an unprovoked attack by Israeli forces. Despite being a recognized friendly vessel, Israeli jets and torpedo boats launched a sustained assault, using napalm and torpedoes against the ship. The attack lasted nearly half an hour, during which sailors aboard raised the largest American flag they could find, hoping to signal their status. The tragic outcome resulted in the deaths of 34 Americans and left 171 injured, many of whom would carry the psychological scars of that day for the rest of their lives. Israeli officials later claimed that the Liberty had been mistakenly identified as an Egyptian cavalry transport ship. A brief investigation by U.S. forces accepted this explanation, and Israel compensated the U.S. and the families of the victims. However, many survivors and analysts remain skeptical, arguing that the ship had been clearly marked as American during the attack. The lingering doubts and unanswered questions about the motivations behind the assault make this incident one of the most contentious moments in U.S.-Israeli relations. Number 2. The Culper Spy Ring. Throughout history, spies have played pivotal roles in shaping events, often without ever revealing their identities to the public. The American War for Independence was no exception. The Culper Spy Ring, which operated during the Revolutionary War, was instrumental in gathering intelligence that proved crucial for the colonial effort against British forces. Formed in 1778, 2 years into the war, the ring emerged from George Washington's urgent need for reliable intelligence. Early attempts at establishing a spy network had proven ineffective, as espionage during this tumultuous time was fraught with peril. Many spies were captured and executed without trial, leaving only the bravest and most trustworthy individuals to take on this dangerous role. The ring was initiated by Caleb Brewster, who offered to gather intelligence from British-held Long Island, and Benjamin Tallmadge, a young army officer. Together, they formed a network of spies who would relay vital information back to the Continental Army. While initially amateurish, the Culper Spy Ring evolved into one of the most effective intelligence networks of the war, employing code names and various methods of communication to evade detection. The ring's success included uncovering critical plans for British attacks, such as a planned ambush on the French army in 1780, which could have derailed the Franco-American alliance. One of the most intriguing elements of the Culper Spy Ring is the legend of Agent 355, a purported female operative believed to have been essential to the spy network's success. While some women did participate, the identity of Agent 355 remains elusive, with only a single reference to her in surviving letters. This air of mystery adds an intriguing layer to the narrative of espionage during the Revolutionary War, highlighting how much we still have yet to learn about this fascinating chapter in American history. Number 1. The Kishtim nuclear disaster. Before the world was shocked by the Chernobyl disaster, a lesser-known but equally devastating event took place at the Mayak nuclear facility in the Soviet Union. The Kishtim nuclear disaster of 1957. Now classified as the third worst nuclear accident in history, the secrecy surrounding this event may have led to an underestimation of its severity and implications. The Mayak facility, located near the town of Kishtim in the Ural Mountains, was integral to the Soviet nuclear weapons program. Unfortunately, safety measures at the facility were grossly inadequate, leading to widespread radiation exposure among workers and local residents. The site was heavily guarded and classified, often omitted from Russian maps, but those living nearby sensed something was dangerously amiss. On September 19, 1957, bluish-violet lights lit up the night sky, leading the government to claim it was a natural phenomenon, akin to polar lights. Simultaneously, residents were ordered to slaughter livestock, bury crops, and plow fields, a directive that raised alarm among locals who quickly connected the dots. Yet it took years for the government to admit the true nature of the disaster. A cooling system failure at the facility led to a chemical explosion, scattering nuclear waste over a vast area. Unlike Chernobyl and Fukushima, no immediate efforts were made to contain the disaster, resulting in radioactive fallout impacting local communities. Over the following years, thousands of residents were relocated as the truth slowly emerged. By 1960, the CIA had pieced together enough information through satellite imagery to understand what had transpired. However, government reports remained classified, and even whistleblowers attempting to expose the truth faced ridicule and skepticism. Only with the easing of Cold War tensions did the reality of the Kishtim disaster finally come to light, serving as a sobering reminder of the hidden dangers of nuclear power and the extent to which governments will go to protect their secrets.